Good morning, students. Today's class is one of the sessions in epidemiology practical. So we will be discussing three more questions. Please write in your recordings. So question number 16. A circular well of 6-meter diameter with 10-meter depth of water is to be chlorinated. Farrak's test shows blue color in fourth cup onwards. Calculate the quantity of bleaching powder required to disinfect the well. Explain the procedure of well disinfection. So first we need to say the data which they have given in a question. So they have given the dimensions of a well, which is 6-meter diameter, depth, and also Horrocks test shows color in a fourth cup. So solution, step 1, first we have to find out the volume of the water. So the formula for volume of water is V is equal to pi r square h. So here pi is constant, which is 22 divided by 7, and r square is, it is like half of the diameter. R means half of the diameter and square for that, and multiplied by 10. So it is 22 divided by 7, 6 divided by 2 square into 10. When we calculate, it comes to 282.86 cubic meters. So usually 1 cubic meter we take 1000 liters of water. So for that 282.86 cubic meter, if we calculate, the total volume of the water comes to 2,82,857. So by this formula, remember this formula, and by this we know the volume of the water. Next we have to calculate the bleaching powder, required amount of bleaching powder. Calculation of bleaching powder required. Farrak's apparatus measures the chlorine demand of water. So the blue color is observed from the fourth cup onwards. As we know, Farrak's apparatus, they have 6 cups. In each cup, we have to fill the water which combined with the chlorine. Like in the first cup, it is 1 drop, second cup 2 drops, third cup 3 drops. So like that we have to fill. So for this, each cup contains 2 spoons of chlorine. So in 1 spoon, they are like 2 spoons of sugar. So by this, we have to calculate the quantity of bleaching powder required for the chlorination is 4 into 2 spoons in each cup. One spoon contain 1 gram, so 2 spoons contain 2 grams. So in a fourth cup, 4 into 2, it is like 8 grams of water. 8 grams of bleaching powder for 455 liters of water. This is constant. Horrocks apparatus always measures chlorine requirement, like a bleaching powder requirement for the 455 liters of water. Step 3, calculation of bleaching powder required for chlorination of 2,82,857 liters. So we already know for 455 liters, the chlorine powder required is 8 grams. For these liters, how much bleaching powder is required? For that, 2,82,857 divided by 455 into 8. The answer is 4,973.31 grams. When we convert this into the kgs, 4.97 kgs or 5 kgs. So the amount of chlorine required to disinfect that particular well is 5 kgs. So the procedure, how we should, the procedure for disinfection of a well. So first, the required quantity, we already know it is 5 kgs of bleaching powder is mixed with a little water in a bucket. So not more than 100 grams at a time to make thin paste. When after making thin paste, water is added to the same bucket till it is 3/4 full. The contents are stirred well and allowed to stand for 5 to 10 minutes for sedimentation. The supernatant solution, which we call chlorine solution, that solution only we need for the disinfection, is transferred to another bucket, and lime, which the sediment, is discarded as it increases the hardness of water. The bucket containing chlorine solution is lowered into the well below the water level. We shouldn't be pouring the cold water into the well. There is some procedure to combine this chlorinated water into the well water. So for that, first we have to, the bucket chlorine solution is lowered into the well below the water level, and so we have to move the bucket vertically and horizontally to mix completely several times to ensure proper mixing of chlorine solution in water. After that, residual chlorine should be tested after half an hour. We have to leave it like half an hour, and then we have to test for a residual chlorine by orthotoluidine arsenic test. So it should be, the residual chlorine should be at least 0.5 milligrams per liter. The disinfected well water should be used after a contact period of 1 hour. So it is best we disinfect in the night so that the next day anyone can use the water. During epidemics, well should be disinfected every day. Next question is question number 17. Srimati Jamuna, a 45-year-old, weight is 52 kgs, uneducated coolie, was admitted to female tuberculosis ward with history of massive hemoptysis and progressive dyspnea 6 days back. She was found to be sputum positive case of tuberculosis. So the questions here are, would you justify her admission into the hospital? Write all indications for admission of a tuberculosis patient into hospital. Expand the term dots. Write the treatment schedule. So the first question is, would you justify her admission? Yes, because she has massive hemoptysis and progressive dyspnea. She needs respiratory intensive care. The next question is, all indications for admission of TB patient into the hospital. Emergencies such as massive hemoptysis, spontaneous pneumothorax, surgical intervention, management of serious types of tuberculosis, especially TB, meningitis, or miliary TB, and other social indications like when there is no one to look after the patient at home, maybe if she needs continuous monitoring, we'll admit the patient in a hospital. DOTS means directly absorbed treatment, short course chemotherapy. Treatment schedule, this patient falls under category 1. And first we have to register the patient and we treat under the RNTCP. So the DOTS should be given. According to DOTS, the patient is classified into category 1. So the recommended regimen in RNTCP, daily dose regimen we are giving for a new cases, 2 HRZE and 4 HRE. 2 HRZE, 2 denotes months, 2 months of intensive phase treatment with 4 drugs, isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide, and ethambutol, and in 4 months of continuation phase. In that we are giving 3 drugs, isoniazid, rifampicin, and ethambutol. So number before brackets, number of the months. When discharging the patient, entire traceable address has to be sent to the PHC medical officer of that particular locality. So if the patient belongs to other district, the same information will be marked to the district TB control officer of the district where hospital is located. So the dosage for this patient, it depends on the weight category. Actually, they are like a fixed dose combination. One is 4 drug fixed dose combination, and for the CP, 3 drug fixed dose combination. In each tablet contain 75 milligrams of isoniazid, 150 of rifampicin, 400 of pyrazinamide, 275 mg of ethambutal in 4 fixed dose combination. Likewise, in 3 fixed dose combination, each tablet contains these three drugs. So for us in the question, the patient has a weight of 52 kgs. So she should take three tablets of 4 fixed dose combination in intensive phase, 3 tablets of 3 fixed dose combination in continuation phase. Usually after 2 months when she finish intensive phase treatment, again she has to be tested for sputum. If it is positive, we have to continue the treatment for IP for 1 more month, then start CP. If it is negative, just start the CP. Question number 18. A clinical survey for filariasis was conducted in a population of 5,000. The results are given below. So number of people showing microfilaria positive blood smears 900. Number of persons showing clinical signs and symptoms 400. Only positive blood smears are 900. Only signs and symptoms are 400. Both like a clinical signs and symptoms, positive blood smear are 100 out of 5,000. So calculate the possible filarial indices, suggest the control measures. So the first thing is we have to calculate the microfilaria rate. So it is like how many persons are tested positive among the test examined. So the formula is number showing MF positivity divided by number of slides or persons examined into 100. That is number showing MF positivity is 900 here. And total are 5,000 into 100. It comes to 18% of population. So microfilaria rate is 18% of population. Filarial disease rate. This is number showing filarial disease symptoms plus both number of people examined or slides examined into 100. So number showing filarial disease symptoms are 400, both are 100 divided by total are 5,000 into 100, it comes to 10% of population. Filarial disease rate is 10% of population. Filarial endemicity rate. Number having disease signs plus number of MS positives plus both. This is like a total number of persons which tested positive and number of persons examined into 100. This is 400. This is 900 plus 100 divided by 5,000 into 100. 1400 divided by 5,000 into 100. It is 28% of population. Endemicity rate is 28%. So control measures, we divide in control measures into two categories. One is chemotherapy, one is vector control. So chemotherapy, DEC, usually the drug of choice, 6 mg/kg per body weight per day orally for 12 days after meals. So many studies prove that DEC alone cannot eliminate or cannot cure completely filariasis. So we need other filaria control measures in the community, like preventive chemotherapy and DEC medicated salt. So in preventive chemotherapy, we give single dose of 2 medicines annually every year. That is albendazole 400 milligrams together with DEC. When it is given annually for 4 to 6 years, it can interrupt the transmission cycle. We give this in endemic areas. One is DEC medicated salt. Common salt medicated with 1 to 4 grams of DEC per kg has been used for filariasis control for at least 6 to 9 months. Another thing is vector control. We already finished everything in a theory, so I'm just highlighting the points. In vector control, there are anti-larval measures, anti-adult measures. Anti-larval measures like chemical control, under those mosquito larvicidal oil, pyrazine oil, organophosphorus, larvicides, and also removal of pistia plant. This is for helps in breeding of mosquitoes. So if we remove pistia plant from water, so we can reduce the breeding places. Minor environmental measures and also in anti-adult measures. Pyrethrum spray spray in and around. Personal prophylaxis, mosquito nets and repellents. Other measures like maintenance of local hygiene of affected plant, health education, surveillance. Thank you.